Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 10th and final episode of the season finale of So Tell Me with Phil Bhojwanay. My guest today is veteran Aussie comedian Bruno Lucia. Bruno has been a regular in the comedy circuit all across Australia, the UK, and America. He cemented the catchphrase "Cheeky Babe," where he played Wayne Lovett on the hit sitcom All Together Now.
Not my fault.
He's probably best known to me for his crazy antics with the guitar and his highly stylized musical comedy sets. Welcome to the show, Bruno. How are you?
Thank you, Phil. I'm wonderful.
You doing good?
I'm doing good. I was just reading about Donald Trump suing Bill Maher over the orangutan joke, and now I believe the orangutan is now suing Donald Trump over the Bill Maher joke. So, you know.
Where's Michael Jackson in all this? When he came to Singapore, I remember him hanging out with the orangutans all the time.
Is that right?
That's very, very true. I don't know what he was doing with them, but we won't get into that because I want to dive into something else first. I want to take you back, about 25 years. I want to dive straight into a set you did in 1991. Now, I'm a brown guy. I'm an Indian guy. I think you know where I'm going with this. It was a set you did on Indian people doing Shakespeare with their head bopping, and then you segue to Italians with their hand movements and incorporated the two together. And I thought that was fantastic. I find the Italian people and the Indian people to be very, very similar, not to mention that they also both have overbearing parents. So what was it like growing up for you in an Italian household, and what made you come up with that set? Are you tying your shoelace, by the way?
No, I'm not. I'm scratching. I've got an itch. I've got a comedy itch. Yeah. In answer to your question, I can distinctly remember that now because I did it on Hey Hey It's Saturday. I think I did a set on Hey Hey It's Saturday, and I did that bit and got so much good positive feedback from it, except one very negative comment back from an Indian guy saying it was very racist and it was, and I think your comedy is disgusting, and I really took it hard.
Really?
Because, in those days it was like there was no texting or iPhone, tweeting and, it was just someone actually ringing up the network. And,
that's right.
So it's interesting because that was it was a time when people were not as precious. But, it wasn't a racist bit. It was a racial bit.
That's right.
But it did make me think about that. One comment made me think about how I was presenting myself, and how I was presenting my comedy. Because I'd only been doing comedy, maybe stand-up, I guess maybe 5 years.
At that point.
Yeah, because I've been doing stand-up as myself. I started off doing stand-up comedy as a character called Dino Valentino. Yeah, Dino Valentino, Dottore dell'amore, Doctor of Love,
that's an Italian name right there, yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So the guy came up to you. Yep, go on.
Well, he didn't come up to me, he called network, so it was a defining moment in comedy for me. I thought, okay, maybe people can construe that as being racist, so I took it on board, even that one negative, and it was a very negative comment, let me tell you. It was a letter. That's what happened. They rang up and then they sent a letter in of complaint. But, I don't know. Look, it's in answer to your question as far as, the Indian and the Italian overbearing parents, yes, very similar. I don't know. I how you have those comedy little moments where the light goes on and you think, oh, you know what? That'd be a funny bit. It was just, I
completely understand. But I want to just backtrack slightly over here. When you said that the guy wrote a letter in, it was it's been an issue for a long time now for us comedians because you literally have to be so careful with what you say. And that's exactly why I stopped doing stand-up about 6 months ago. Because I think I've repeated myself over and over and over and over in all other 9 podcasts about a roast I did for 300 oncologists in Malaysia. And long story short, I don't want to repeat myself because people are getting fed up of listening to the same story. During the show, I got a couple of messages saying, look, you're being too abusive. And I said, well, you asked for a damn roast. What do you think a roast is? So I took it in my stride and I said, I'm going to do what I have to do. Like Don Rickles, my comic hero, I don't take back anything I say because every punch I throw, I believe in. So I'm sorry to hear that you had that one Indian guy come up to you, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume and take a bet and say he was probably an elderly gentleman.
Quite possibly, and but it was just, when I say it just made a it was just a thing where it made me think twice about my material. It wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't even, I'm not even going to say it was like,
but
it was
clearly
wonderful.
affected you.
It did.
Yeah.
Because, I'd always sort of prided myself on being, an inoffensive comic. But at the same time, we were living in different times then. Now everybody's very precious. I mean,
but I don't think you can, I'm sorry. I don't think you can be a comic without being offensive, though. You have to be. You know what I'm saying? So, what are you gonna say? Hi, how are you on stage? Good night. No, you gotta say something. There's no. The middle is the key.
Exactly. If you're not messing with someone, if you're not upsetting someone, you're not doing comedy. I mean,
exactly.
Really.
No, that's exactly what it is. But that whole Shakespeare bit, I just wanted to point it out because I saw that, and I like to always backtrack the dates and see what the comedians like yourself, the veteran comedians, what you guys have done 25 years ago, and that was very, very funny. And I was just thinking, would you consider doing another set like that? Perhaps breaking out into while we're talking about Italian and Indian people, maybe you break out into a soprano and a Bollywood dance music together, and you do a set with the guitar. How's that sound for you? Does that work?
Quite possibly, yes. That could work. That could work like a Tony Soprano bit, doing a Hollywood song, doing a little Hollywood song.
There we go. Yeah, he's brought it up.
I don't know how the song would go, but I've got the guitar right here.
Can you stand up for this so we can see it?
There we go. Okay. I forgot. This is a radio podcast. Oh, yes. That's right.
Do you mind standing up? Because we're getting half your face over here as well.
Oh, you got it. Can you get the git?
We got the guitar. Yeah, that's a beautiful guitar.
You got the git, mate. You got the git.
We've got it, yeah.
I know. Shaped like Australia. Where's
that looks like a Smurf. It looks like you bashed up 25 Smurfs and you put a shirt on with the guitar.
That's it, man. That's it.
Go a bit back so we can see you like that, and then start jamming for me if you don't mind. Yeah. Oh, not like that. I mean.
Okay. Here's a song I wrote called the Phil Bhojwanay. Do you want to hear it? The Phil Bhojwanay radio.
I want to hear it, but I want to see the guitar, my friend. I can't see it.
You see it now.
I can't see it, but do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we can. There we go.
Oh, yes, there you go, man.
All right. The Phil Bhojwanay song. Let's go.
Here we go. Here we go now. That's it. There's no words. I didn't get time right then. But how's that go?
So basically, you're telling me I have a blank mind. Thank you so much.
I have.
You couldn't come up with any lyrics from me, huh?
I have it. I'm caffeine deprived, mate.
Caffeine deprived. Now let me ask you one thing. I think I'm gonna make the whole show about the two eyes, the Italians and the Indians, because we're so freaking similar and no one notices that. Now I'll tell you something. If you ask me, if you put an Indian girl in front of me and an Italian girl in front of me, there's no chance in hell I'm picking the Indian girl. I'll tell you that. I will go for the Italian girl all the time. The only thing I get worried about is that when one of my favorite shows was The Sopranos, and they in the season finale, the last season, it faded to black. So I'm not sure whether he's still alive, because I don't want that to be his daughter if I end up going out with her. So I don't want no baseball bat coming to my face.
Could you imagine that pressure of having to go and meet Tony Soprano? And so you're dating my daughter? Oh yeah. So so what do you do? Oh, that'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Absolute nightmare.
Hey, yo, Tony.
Yeah.
Bring the bat over here.
Come over here, Tony. Come over here.
Did you used to watch the show?
I loved the show. Yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes, I got the series
box set.
I got the series on DVD, and I'm yet to watch it again. I want to go through the whole lot again because you watch it late at night, and you catch an episode here and an episode there, and it's a bit out of sync. You know what I mean?
That's
but
right.
Yeah, it's just a masterpiece, really, of a TV series.
It is definitely on my top 3 list of HBO shows, or in fact just drama altogether. I loved it. Everything about it. Now Italian people literally like that, the mafia and whatnot, you growing up in a background like that? I'm just very, very curious.
it's so stereotypical.
See,
but
now
I mean,
I'm gonna write. Now you're gonna write a letter. Some Italian guy's gonna write a letter to my show now. That's how the line works.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Well, obviously, it's a completely different situation here when we're talking about an American Italian as opposed to an Australian Italian.
Yep, that's right.
Because it's strange. Like I noticed this with American Italians, like even doing comedy bits from Australia, where we view Italians as the fresh off the boat with the accent, but in America, you talk about Italians, you talk about someone from Brooklyn or from Queens or from, and they're Americans first. They're American Italians, I believe. They're very, they're very loyal to their America, first. That's right. Whereas Australia, they view themselves as Italian Australians.
Yes, there's a big difference. Yeah, I mean, they won't say go get me a cup of coffee in Australia. You know what I'm saying? They'll say
exactly. You got to get the W in there, the coffee.
Coffee. Over here they'll be like, can you get a coffee, please? Yeah, thank you. And then they'll bobble their head as well. That's what the Australian people do this way. They can't. They don't know what's going on either. It seems the Italian people have that, the Australian people have that, the Indian people have that, but yet the Indian people get made fun of it the most. You know why? The accent. The accent is the key.
See, the accent is what makes us, and the thing is, because we don't take ourselves too seriously. See, I tell you one thing I found, and this is why I think Indians are funny, and Italians are funny, is because innately, physically, visually, and also with our accents, we're just naturally prone to being funny. I mean,
and being made fun of.
Made fun of, and we're just funny, just our mannerisms.
Yeah.
It's just
that simple. It goes down to that crux.
I mean, I know it's stereotypical, but Germans are not funny. It's not to say that a German can't be funny. A German can be very funny, but distinctly, normally they are not funny.
And you know what they're funnier with the purple jacket on.
Exactly.
All right.
Purple jacket on a German, and they're hilarious.
And there you go.
You've seen that bit.
I've seen that bit. I do my research. You ask your good friend Steve. He says you know your shit. I definitely know my shit. I can hold the conversation for 3 more hours, but we only got 45. But
that's it.
We're gonna get into the eccentric questions. I'm just taking everything's off the cuff, as you know. I haven't planned anything. I've got a computer in front of me. I'm pretending like I'm reading something from here, but there's nothing over there.
All right. Right. Okay. I'm pretending I'm reading too. Okay. I'll pretend
I'll read to play the guitar for me later on.
I'll pretend and I'll play the. Here's one I wrote just recently. You want to hear this?
Yeah. Is it blank again?
I actually started playing guitar when I was 9. You know that, and already.
And now you're 10. Okay, go. Yeah.
Whoa! Yeah, the first song. There you go.
Got that. You got the hairdo of a 10-year-old. What am I gonna say?
Champagne comedy.
Newborn.
Champagne comedy.
Champagne. All right. I want to ask you something now. Let's. What's happened to half your face? Oh, I thought you looked like Bane over there for a little bit. Now I was on the drive over here today. I was reading something just very last minute on Facebook, which we both are friends on. And true story. Did you see this in the Independent paper? It came out that I forget where it was. A bunch of people on a beach. They literally picked up a dolphin from the shore. Carried him up like as if he was in a mosh pit, and everybody took a selfie with the dolphin. Now my whole show is based on society. Is this what we're coming to? Give me your comedian's take on this. People taking selfies with a dolphin like as if they're getting wrestled by Hulk Hogan or something. I mean, poor dolphin, for Pete's sake. Do something about this.
Yeah, they're pussies, though. I mean, in Australia, we take photos with the shark, mate, because we're tough.
Do you carry them like this? What are you, bench pressing the dolphin now? Is that what's going on? Or are you raising the roof?
Doing curls, doing bicep curls with them. Because we're Australian, mate.
I couldn't believe what I saw. It was absolutely ridiculous. But look, when you see things like this, sir, you tell me. Where do you see society going like this? I mean, we've come to a point where everything has become a selfie. You got to everyone's taking a picture of everything else. We talk about stereotyping. Now, look, if we go by that standard, why is it that you're not Japanese and I'm not Japanese either?
Thank God, because I heard Australian men on average have sex once a month. Japanese men actually once a year. So
once a year,
there
and
you
they
go.
have
That's scary.
they have one suicide every month, actually. A week,
Is
sorry.
that right?
Yeah, they work so hard over there that they put a sword to your head if you embarrass the family. So
Well, you've just clarified that, mate. But getting back to the selfies, I mean,
yeah.
I had one of those moments where I thought about that when they had bushfires here in Australia, in South Australia, in Adelaide,
Commercial, yep.
where I currently based out of, where we're half an hour behind in 1967. But hey, it's a good year. But they had bushfires, and they had these people taking photos and selfies with the bushfire burning in the background. I was just like, that was enough for me. I just
Well,
went,
what year you say was this?
me.
What year was this?
It was probably 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. I can't remember if we had. This year we've got away with it, with having, I say got away with it, we've managed to steer clear of any, tragic bushfires. There's always little fires going on, but there was some pretty scary stuff there last year, I believe it was, last summer. And people had lost their houses. They were losing, pets and whatnot. No lives. I think a couple of lives were lost as well. But people were taking selfies by the side of the road. It was just like, enough with these selfies. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's become a societal norm. I mean, look, when I heard you say that they wanted to put out a bushfire, I sincerely thought that people would actually go and help and do that, but instead of helping, they actually add to the misery of taking a picture. That's what they do. No one helps anymore.
Well, no one helps anymore. It's like someone's burning, and I go, oh, that's horrible. Here's some water, but let's get a selfie, and here I am with someone burning and losing their hair. And
was that you?
Yeah, that's happened to me. It happened to me many years ago. That's right. That's right. Hey, listen.
Yes, sir.
Did you go on? I'd lost. Can you still hear me now? Oh,
I can hear you. You were going to say something. I want. Go ahead. I interrupted you. Sorry.
It probably wasn't important, though.
It wasn't important. Okay. Well, that's the point of my whole show. It's not important either. So we'll just
great.
go elsewhere.
Great. It's a bit like Seinfeld, show about nothing. Great.
Yeah,
Love
it is a show about nothing, but it's also about something. As you talk about Seinfeld, that is one of my favorite comedians ever. Have you met him before, by the way?
I never met Jerry, but I caught a good buddy of mine in the States, John Mulrooney, who's a great comic around that era of Steve Middleman era, actually. And we were. I met Jay Leno briefly, and I also met Seinfeld briefly in the Improv in about '89. This is before the sitcom altogether. Now, I'd gone
Just
over
before,
to the States, and John Mulrooney and I had done a season here in Melbourne at the Comedy Club, and it was it was a fun 2 weeks. And then I decided before taping of the show, I'd go over and spend Christmas and New Year in New York and LA, and we did some gigs together. And anyway, to cut a long story short, we were outside of the Improv, and Jay Leno's there on his bike about to get off, and he says hello.
Bike or car?
Introduces me, and on his big Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
And I was just gobsmacked. I mean, that's Jay Leno, and Seinfeld was just about to go up and do a set. And to try out some new material from his shows. So very brief. It was like 10 seconds. But Jay was a little bit more giving with his time, only because obviously he was leaving. He wasn't about to go on stage, but on that Harley Davidson, I tell you what, if his chin really is bigger than it was almost bigger than the bloody Harley Davidson. It was massive. So, great guy, though. Great guy.
Apparently now we got 2 chin jokes. One was from Steve and one was from Jay, and you. 3, sorry. But all 3 of you got chin problems.
Mine wasn't really a joke, but
chinception.
It was an observation more than anything. But, chin. Chin. That was a faux pas. Steve Middleman had a chin to die for.
That's right, and he almost did die for it. But I'm just joking. Don't tell him I said that. Steve, if you're hearing this, I didn't mean that. No, I did. I'm just joking. So now I was gonna say something I already forgot. So we had one joke each, and we're both now 1 for 1. You talk about these Harley Davidsons. You know what happened yesterday? I swear to you, I don't like these fucking people on these bikes. They rev their engines for no damn reason whatsoever. You know what they should do? In America, forget the gun culture. Get a bazooka instead, and every single time that these people do that, fire one at them, let this whole thing explode, because this is going to give you brain damage at some point in your life. If you're walking down the street and someone does that for no particular reason, this is what people do.
Well, you know what they're revving for. They're revving for you to say, "Hey, I have a big penis."
Most of the time, people who do that actually don't have one.
And of
I
course
think they might have a micro penis instead.
They have a micro penis, exactly. But I tell you what, you're worried about a lot of things, man. Jesus. But I like the bazooka idea. I often think that up myself, so it's quite bizarre hearing it back. So it's good to know that there's another twisted mind out there, sort of having these crazy visions.
Bruno, I think growing up in the families that we did, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that it's our family's fault that we do this for a living.
Oh, of course. I blame them for everything. I'm sitting in the family home right here now. In fact,
is your mother and father with you still at the background somewhere?
Dad passed away 4 years ago, and that's how I found myself back in Australia, because I was living in Los Angeles. I actually moved over there in 2008, right in the middle of a global financial meltdown and 2 writers' strikes. So my timing was impeccable.
Your timing was The Big Short.
My timing was impeccable, but I met Steve Middleman. That was a plus. But it was a bizarre time, and I lost 3 people very close to me. I mean, it happens in life, and one of them being my dad, and all in the space of 5 months. So that's how I found myself back after my 3-year work visa had sort of expired. I decided, well, do I renew it or do I go back? And I just wanted to be back home with family, and I'd actually never lived in this. Our family home was about a mile from where I am now in Prospect, South Australia, and talk about knowing where you come from. I mean, coming back here was another rude awakening, and fabulous, by the way, because it just it was very grounding. Yeah, to use one of a better word.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, that's always tragic to sort of deal with. But so when you came back, you started playing. You mentioned that you play the cruise ships now. You're one of those. You become more of a corporate comedian, have you? You have a gig every week.
In a way, I do about 2 or 3 cruise ships a month at the moment. But I still do I still do club dates.
Yeah.
I still like to work. On solid ground. And but it's the traveling I really enjoy as well. Believe it or not.
I can't do that. I hate that. Yeah.
I didn't. You've tried the cruise ships?
No, not the cruise ships. I'm talking about being an on-the-road comedian. I just can't stand moving from place to place, or even flying, because I have trouble sleeping. So for me to sit on the plane for more than an hour is painful.
Oh man, well you're in the wrong business. Where you're in the right business, in the podcast.
I am. That's why I went into hosting instead, because I can sit behind the desk and do what David Letterman did. Just waste people's time. Let's go. I love Letterman, by the way. He's my favorite host. But
I love Letterman.
Next guest. He's the best. When you talk Letterman and Leno is. Let's not even get into Leno. He doesn't really help out.
No, I like his stand-up.
Stand-up's great. Yes.
I'm with you on that one. Letterman just had. I don't know what it is. It's
he had
just
the class.
He came from the radio background as well. I guess maybe that maybe that had something to do with it.
No, I think it was the influence from Johnny Carson. I mean, he was so respectful of him that he wanted to follow in his footsteps, and he stuck to that route. And I'm gonna go ahead and admit the same thing. For me, what Johnny Carson was to David Letterman, David Letterman is to me. So if I ever make it huge, I'm not a big guy by any means, but a lot of praise and a lot of influence and a lot of respect will go to people like Don Rickles, David Letterman. These are people I learned from, So.
I love the old school comics, man. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that that's I think really lost on a lot of younger. I'm going to be generalized here because it's not all, but
no,
most.
Go ahead. Say what you got to say. This is the only show in the world you can say whatever you want.
Well, no, I do feel that. I'm just it was more just trying to find the articulation of what I'm trying to say, and that is that the old school comics I don't think get as much respect as they deserve, from the younger generation, I think. Absolutely. Nowadays, because and when they do talk about them, it's not in a positive light.
It's not in high regard. It isn't. It's disrespectful. They think that they know it alls. What to me is special and good comedy is when you can do a set of half an hour, 45 minutes without dropping the F-bomb. Now that to me is comedy, and that's what people like Jack Benny, Milton Berle, David Letterman, even Jay Leno, I put him up there with in terms of stand-up. Bob Hope, Alan King. I'm going to name the whole dais right now from the Dean Martin roast. But that was what comedy was, and it's lost. It's gone. Well, it's not there anymore.
I don't know if it's lost. I don't know if it's if it was ever found, if it was or what's better too. Because I think I'm my philosophy on the whole thing is you've just got to do what suits you. Being a cursed blue comic was never right for me. But all my characters, even starting off from Dino Valentino character, I noticed I just naturally fell into this, titillating sort of, naughty but not blue. The double entendre. Like my character Dino Valentino was just king of the double entendre, and I still love doing that now because I just think it's more. It's more of a challenge. In many ways, but it was more me. I've worked with many a blue comic who I think are absolute geniuses.
Such as who? Name a few of them.
I can't name any of them, but
why? Because are they blue-black?
But blue-black comics, even someone like
Red Fox.
Like Red Fox as an old example. I mean, geez. I mean, he's just brilliant. But try to clean that guy up. I mean, he's got whack.
Yeah, him, Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor. I mean, do we need to say any more? Do we need to mention another name? No, we don't really.
You don't have to, but we can. Well, if we're gonna because for the sake of the day and age we live in, I'd love to put David Chappelle up there. Dave Chappelle, sorry.
Absolutely, yeah, and even Chris Rock.
I think Chappelle's better though.
Well,
it's a tough one to call.
Define better. I mean, one's it's how comedy is. It's all subjective. So better. It's more to your liking. I guess what you mean. He takes maybe a little bit more. He's a bit more risky in his.
Styles.
No holds barred. No topic is off topic.
For Chris Rock, right? You're talking about.
Yeah,
that's right. That's Chris Rock for you. With every good comedian, there's always an underlying tone and layer of a spot on subjective and objective mixture and infusion of you. That's what comedy is, as far as I'm concerned.
For sure, it's got to be you. Getting back to if you curse or you don't curse, or I don't know that bit. I know I've heard of that bit, or I may have seen a couple of minutes on that. Which is, I mean, he's ballsy. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
He'll talk about stuff that a lot haven't, and that's why he got the respect as well as he's just damn funny.
He did, yeah. Chris Rock. These are all marvelous comedians. Today it's sad. I mean, you can't see today. Today, I think the ones who are on top. You have Louis C.K. and Bill Burr and Kevin Hart. Yeah. That's really it, right? I mean, you really wouldn't want to put anyone else up there for a top 3 list. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say I know Kevin Hart's comedy as much as I would say someone like Louis C.K. They're both observational. Yeah. I think Louis C.K. much more. Because Colin was a major influence on him. So yeah.
Colin Quinn.
No, George Carlin.
Oh, George Carlin.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Major influence on me too. Actually, yeah.
Oh, I love. Who doesn't love George Carlin?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not.
Anyone here doesn't like George Carlin, you're gonna get a beating from Bruno with the freaking guitar. You understand? Yeah. There we go. We both looked at the same time. See, comedian's mindset. The psyche's there. We just back to back.
It, man. We're
So,
in
yeah.
sync. Yeah, no, I loved Colin. I just sent someone actually a female, and it's funny how one friend actually unfriended me on Instagram because I put this up, and it's hilarious, right? And
You
it was
sent
just a
a female
meme.
something, you say?
I know, it was a meme. It was a
Oh,
George Carlin meme on,
yeah.
to those girls wearing too much makeup, calm down. It's a face, not a fucking coloring book, you know? I mean, it's a great line, you know? And
That's true.
most of the likes that I got were from women. But of course, of course, there was one female friend that just, you know, suddenly unfriended me on Facebook. Oops, I've dropped my phone.
Oh my God! So they've all become
know.
so sensitive today. Everything is, but look, but true beauty is really natural beauty. So if you can really tell the look of a person, of a woman at least without the makeup, right? That's how it works. I mean, now
if you can't understand that from that joke, well, then you're just a moron, you know, and you just you know, you just like to argue, really, because
are you
that's
referring
what
to
that
me
joke is
or
saying.
to them?
No, to them.
Yeah, I just want to get.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? If we're talking makeup, I think you might need some for sure. You can show some black hair.
No, my skin's pretty good, man.
Yeah, you're all right.
I mean, I'm 56. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I was
This is all
gonna
over my body. Should see Mr. Happy. He looks 19. But anyway, not a crease.
Who looks 19? Alex? Sound engineer looks 19. He's close to that age. But yeah, no, you look fine for 56. 56, you say? Wow.
I'm scrubbing up all right. But everything you say about Carlin, you know, that you're saying there about Carlin, I mean, it's that joke. It's just perfect. You know, I mean, it's, you know, depicting everything that we were both saying about how you know, his thoughts and his philosophy on stuff sort of comes out in a one line, even just a one line joke. You know,
Right.
That's why he was a genius. You know.
Oh my God! When you see his sets, his mind works so quickly, and I don't know. He definitely wrote. He had a new set every single time he had a new special. Because he used to throw out the older ones and have a new one. The amount he could come up with was amazing, and every single special he had was special. That's why they were called specials. I mean, the observational humor was second to none. Nobody can do it like that.
Well,
magnificent. I think Jerry Seinfeld comes very, very close, and he also cites him as a top 4 influence. You know, but who doesn't cite Colin? Sorry, what was that?
I said, is that right? I didn't know Seinfeld. Well, but you know, it doesn't surprise me. I guess that he would hold him in
high regard.
You know,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you know, he really was first. I mean, and you see the way he grew, and he was in a unique situation. You know, where he was able to put together a new HBO special, every 12 months or 24 months, where he just write a complete new show.
That's right.
And then go on the road with it, you know. Yes, of course, everything was different. I happen to know for a fact that a friend of a friend, and I'd have to, I can't remember names, it doesn't matter, but his partner, his wife, used to do research for George Carlin,
right?
Before his comedy writing bits, and he was old school. I don't think he did computers, you know, and so she would research a whole lot of stuff for him to read before he would begin to write.
Yeah, he'd sum it up for you. Yep, that's right.
There you go. I mean, that guy, you know, was obviously well versed in every subject matter that he would talk about, and
yeah,
you know.
Do you know if you go onto say 20 different websites about top comedians or a top 50 list or a top 100 list, George Carlin comes out at number 2 in all the lists except for one where he comes out number 1, but they put Richard Pryor at number 1 for pretty much all of the lists. But for me, personally speaking, I think that Colin deserves the number 1 position up there. Personally. So
it's George Carlin 2, Richard Pryor 1.
That's
who
right.
was the other? The other
the
two?
other 3 fluctuate. I mean, they come under people like Don Rickles was there under the top 10 list. I don't exactly know who was there for number 3. Now Rickles came in at number 3 for one of the lists. But if you go at 1 or 2 only, what I noticed was that it was always Pryor or Colin, which is very, very strange. I mean, not strange. It was very, very interesting. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised, but one, two.
Who
they're
gives a
both
shit now, right? Yeah, whatever.
yeah, but you know what? I'm
Yeah.
probably of your thinking on that one, and that is I probably put Carlin first, only because of the longevity, of and the eras that he went through. I mean, when he first started stand up, I mean, Jesus, they were using gas microphones. I mean, you know.
And the audiences never had gas masks on them, unlike today. Oh, you say something,
exactly.
this is their reaction. Oh no! Someone get me an oxygen tank right now, please. I'm gonna die. Not of laughter, but because of being politically incorrect. Oh, get fucked. That's what I say.
He had remarkably big Jewish audiences. Maybe they could handle it. I mean, that's the thing. They were trained,
Yeah. Well.
But he was fabulous. The way he just, you'd see old clips and you'd go, oh my God. And then he suddenly went from the suit to the hippie era, and he just grew with it. He was just amazing, really. When you look back,
he got better with the age. He just got better and better.
I think so. A lot of people said that he got more bitter, but I still think he was funny.
But that's what makes you funnier, right? It's when you're bitter. People tell me the same thing. You don't want to sound bitter. No, but I do want to sound bitter because that's what makes you funny, you stupid fool. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'm getting older.
Exactly. I'm 32 and I'm getting so fed up. I'm 32, but I behave like 61. But there we go.
Exactly. But I'm 107 in comedy years.
That's right. And check it out. We just did 45 minutes, but I have a request from you. Since we're running out of time. If you don't mind, that is. There we go. But wait, I'm not done yet.
I'm not done either. But wait, there's more.
Can you do it for the sake of my audiences, which are like maybe about 3 or 4 people, maybe 5 if we're lucky. Give me some of the old school jams that you do. Show the people what Bruno Lucia is made out of. Let's go.
I can go to my website.
Stage is yours, my friend. Stage is yours.
Oh my God. Well, I've just written a new one. This was for anybody going through a love loss. This one's called The Breakup Song.
All right, but we have to say our facial expressions.
Because I started playing in a rock band many years ago, and it was a natural correction into comedy. Because basically, when I sang and played, people laugh. So there you go.
That's right.
Whoa! Can you see it? Can you hear that?
I can hear it. We can hear. Can you hear?
I've even got effects on it. Whoa! This one's called The Breakup Song, and it is an original one, this one. I'm not going to mess with you.
Let's go.
I've got nothing left to say to you. That's it.
I saw the punchline. That was a nice one. Let's do one, if you don't mind. Let's do one for the audiences with the. I love the one where you do the facial expressions for people who play. Was it rock music or jazz?
Blues guitar bit, man.
Sorry.
Blues guitar, exactly.
Yeah.
I forgot. We're on radio, but we got vision here as well.
Yeah, we got that. We just gotta get your face because that's so funny.
This bit's a killer on radio. This one.
Yeah. That's.
No, people blues guitars. I started playing in a Aussie, Italian, African American blues band. And,
that's right.
One thing you learn very easily and very quickly, I say, playing blues guitar, was you got to have good.
That's the one.
You got to have good licks, but as well as good licks, you got to have good facial expressions, don't you, when you play blues guitar? Shit, I'm getting feedback. Listen.
You'll get a few hits. Yeah. And that doesn't look very, very appealing right now. Did you just come?
Rock and roll! All right. That's my new symbol, actually.
That's your new one right there? That was nice jazz stuff. I love that. Thank you for that. But one more last thing. Now, if you can you play Green Day's Time of Your Life? Do you know that song?
Green Day's Time of Your Life?
Yeah.
I know the song. I can't think of it.
Do you know the tune?
Because I've got to take a pee, and I'm trying to concentrate at the same time and think like Green Day time.
We can edit. Don't worry. That's the one. So I'm gonna get Alex. Actually, is a musician. You guys are gonna close off the season for me, playing it together. Are you cool with that, Alex? Get in front of the camera. So is that so? You and Alex are gonna jam it out together, and then we're gonna close.
What does Alex play?
Alex plays. What do you play, Alex? I'll leave the sound engineer to the show. There we go.
All right.
So
okay. We're gonna play.
I'm gonna stand up behind you guys. All right, let's do this. Come on, here we go.
I'll play the skin flicker.
Jam together, in sync, out of sync, but not
Yeah,
in
we're gonna
sync
play
with
an A.
Justin
Mine's
Timberlake.
gonna be very loud. I got the distortion on.
What's that? Sorry.
How about we turn it down and tune it up, shall we?
Let's see what you can do with that.
So,
All right, you can.
Not that.
is that too loud?
No, it's the wrong song, brother.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we need Time of Your Life. He's gonna play the tune and see whether you know that one. Go ahead, Alex.
Play it.
For the season finale.
Oh my God! I literally, I got to take a piece. I think, of course. Okay, keep playing, mate. I love the song.
Let's go. It's the Candid season finale. Thank you.
We're jamming, man.
Look how amazing I am.
I know, jamming on Skype. Look, no hands. That's gonna be a nickname, mate. Phil,
right.
No hands, funny.
Thank
Phil,
you guys.
No hands,
Wonderful.
funny. No
Round of
one plays
applause
the
to
guitar
Alex. Did you get me? And there we go. You did not know that tune, did you?
No, I know it now. But play it again, man.
Sorry?
Play it again, and you can sing over it, and I'll play some guitar over it.
Will you sing over it?
Nah, you gotta sing over it.
I'm not gonna sing over it. Will you sing? You're the guest. Come
No,
on,
no,
you sing.
over it.
Well,
I don't
can't
know the
sing.
words.
I can't sing. I don't know. You sing. You play. You sing. Come on, Bruno, for the guests.
I will, but I don't know the lyrics. So
Okay,
give me
forget
the
it then.
lyrics.
But, geez, we have time for that. I think we just did a good show. It's almost an hour. Let's. You know what? This isn't going to be the first time that you're on the show. So.
No, mate, I'm happy. I'm happy with you're happy. You know.
I'm happy. I'm so glad that you came on. I hope you had a good time.
Of course I did. It was awesome. I just
Go back.
I just
Your whole
wanted
face.
to.
I can only see your head. Go back. Yeah, there we go. Sit up a little bit. Perfect. There we go, sir. Thank you.
You got your 45 there, no problem.
Yeah.
You can cut out. You can cut out a bit of.
You know, on my show, by the way, you have to pay me $45 to come on. It's not the other way around.
That's it.
That's
45,
it.
That's all.
That's
oh,
standard.
Mate,
Yeah.
mate, play.
Standard. But before I go, this is the season finale, people. Listen, there's a final question on my show that I always ask, and that I have to ask is, all right, I've asked this to everybody, and everyone has a different answer. So the question is, historically, as a society, what were we? What have we become? And where do you see us going in the future?
Clones.
One word, clones. That it?
Send in the clones.
Send in the clones. There we go. I'll send in Krusty the clone. How's that? Oh no, in the
Krusty
UK, the clones. There we go.
No one gets better than Krusty the Clown.
The
man.
clones.
Come on.
Well, on that note, I thank you so much for coming on, Bruno. I hope you had a blast as I did. And season 1 is over, guys. 10 episodes with the wonderful Bruno Lucia. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Phil. I've had a ball. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, buddy.
And
Take
Alex,
care.
you play rock guitar.
Alex, he wants to say hi to you a little bit.
Yeah, great jamming with you. Yeah, it was
you
awesome.
too, mate. You too.
We should do it agagen sometime.
Yeah, we'll rehearse it next time. We'll figure out a song we actually know to play.
Like a song I don't know, you know?
I did it on purpose. Thank you so much, Bruno.
Pleasure, man.
Thank you. I'll use that.
Ciao,
Cheers.
ciao.
Bye-bye. Ciao. All right, folks. So that's it for season 1 of So Tell Me with Phil Bhojwanay, and we'll be back in April for season 2. Thank you for listening. Cheers, guys.